it can feel like a never-ending cycle of past due bills, high interest rates, and even collection calls. You want a way out, but most companies only deal with certain kinds of debt or offer quick fixes and even dangerous solutions that can destroy your credit and put you right back where you started. At Family Credit Management, we do things differently. First, we'll review your credit report to access who and what you owe. Then, we'll create a repayment plan that's in budget, lowers interest, and eliminates fees. We'll give you a roadmap out of debt once and for all by consolidating all your unsecured debt from all your creditors in our debt management program. You pay us once a month, and we work with your creditors to take care of the rest. For over 20 years, we've been helping clients get back on track to financial independence. Now it's your turn. Get your free quote today.
Hey, good evening. We are back. Another week, another show. So we're here to talk to you about any types of problems that you may be having dealing with your debt, your finances, any issues or anything that you may have. So over the next 25 to 30 minutes or so, feel free to call in because I want you to use this as a resource. There's so many people out there that are struggling with debt and finances that have questions and you don't know where to go to get the answers. Well, this is the perfect place for you. So if you can just call in, feel free to talk to a counselor. Or if you don't get the chance to call in and ask a question on air, I do want you to use this as a resource. Contact a counselor at 800-994-3328 or go to the website familycredit.org and you'll be able to ask questions. You can get information. There are resources that are available to you to help you deal with your debt and your finances. And that's why we're here. So over the past few weeks, of course, we've had a lot of different activities. We know we've got the holidays coming up. We just celebrated Thanksgiving, wrapped up with Black Friday. We've got Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday that just passed as well. So we've got so many things that have just happened in our area that will drain our wallets. So we want to talk about, today just recovering from all of that. Also, this is the time of year where there's so many people that are going through stress, that are experiencing stress, and a lot of it is due to the holidays, to the finances, to unrealistic expectations. A lot of that stress and pressure that we bring on ourselves because of this season. So we want to talk about that, talk about a few things that you can do to make sure that you are staying financially fit. Because guess what? Your finances do play a lot on your mental health, on your physical health. And we want to make sure that you're financially strong. So, like I said, feel free to call in with those questions. You can reach out. You can contact a counselor directly again, 800-994-3328. And so we've been talking a lot just about those different areas where we can make a change or make a difference. Because a lot of times when we deal with stress and finances, one of the things that we fail to realize is that we have the ability to control the stress that's put on us as well, with it being our finances, with our budget, whatever. We know that we're trying to make ends meet, and sometimes people go into the holiday season thinking about what can they buy, what gifts should they give, and so we want to be mindful of that as well. So we want to talk about mistakes or issues that I see a lot of people make when they're trying to get out of debt, trying to build finances. And so we want to have the right mindset. And it's all about behavior modification. We want to be able to change those things around so that we can deal better with them. Now, one of the things that we want to do is just watch our spending habits. Watch how we spend. And like I said, over the past couple of weeks, even the past few days actually, we have seen just an influx of people going out, purchasing things, people looking at the discounts, waiting for the sales, and we want to look at how are we actually spending. And we talk to a lot of people, and even I do this myself, fall victim to it. Sometimes we spend without even noticing the damage that we're doing, and we don't even think of it as damage. We just say, okay, I'm going to buy this today. I need this purchase right now. We're not thinking about how it affects our budget and how it takes away from what we already have. And so honestly, every time we spend money, we have to look at the opportunity cost of what we're actually spending. And really, opportunity cost is what you give up in place to gain something else. So let's say if I spend $10 at Starbucks, I'm not going to have the $10 in my bank account because I've just used it, right? So we got to think about how we spend, be able to modify our and change our behavior, but we have to be truthful with ourselves just about what we're doing. Looks like we've got our first caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm struggling with payday loans and I cannot find any relief. What should I do?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I'm struggling with payday loans. What should I do to help with relief on those?
Okay, so you're not alone. There's so many people that are struggling with payday loans right now, and it's because we want that instant gratification. We need to hurry up and get that money right now so that we can go shopping or so that we can pay that bill. We need to look at that though, because that's only a temporary solution, and a lot of times it causes more problems in the end. So with the payday loan, what happens is they give you a set sum of money. You go to a lender or finance company, and they give you a certain amount of money for a certain period of time that you need to pay back to them, which is usually 2 weeks to 1 month. And you do need to repay that plus whatever interest that they charge. Problem is that interest is high. And I mean, we're talking like a huge amount of interest that's going towards this, and you have to be able to pay it back right away. The problem that a lot of people run into is that they think that they're going to get it and they're going to have the money when they need it to be able to pay that debt. And a lot of times that does not happen. So we have to put that into perspective first, be honest with ourselves. So if you think that right now you need money, you think this fast $500 is going to fix it for you. Remember, you've got to pay back that whole $500, and a lot of times interest too. So now you're looking at paying back maybe $550 to $700, and a lot of times you can't do that because guess what? Now you've got more to come up with in a shorter period of time. If you don't do it, they're going to try and take your paycheck because you've given them permission to contact your employer, and your job knows about this. And so you risk a lot with taking out a payday loan. What you want to do is if you need help, you need to contact a counselor, reach out for assistance with dealing with payday loans because there is a way to get out from under them, and the counselors can help you with that. So you just need to talk a little bit more about your situation so that you can find the correct path for you. So contact a counselor first off and make a list of all the payday loans that you have. A lot of times when you get one, you want to go out and get another to replace it because you don't have time to pay that. So keep that in mind too. And let's just say you know that you can't pay this payday loan back. Guess what? You've given them access to your bank account. So every time some money goes into your bank account, they know when you get paid. A lot of times they know how much you're going to get, and they know how much they want. So they're going to be able to take it. And a lot of times that leaves you high and dry. So you don't want to do that. You need to be able to protect yourself. You can talk to your bank as well about what their policy is and how to avoid those drafts coming out of your account that you have not authorized. So reach out for assistance, reach out for help. The counselors can walk you through that. Again, a great resource for dealing with those payday loans. So there's help out there. And then a lot of times you can get set up or contact them or talk to them about a repayment plan for dealing with those loans. Because guess what? Like I said, you can't pay that full amount back at one time. That's why you got in that mess in the first place. And so this is the way out. Setting up a repayment plan that works with your budget and something that you can do and talk to them and figure that out. But you also want to make sure that the time frame works too. The counselors can fill you in on that and tell you more about that too. So do reach out. So we talked about even when you're looking at how much you have in your budget, make sure that you're looking at your spending habits, how much you're spending, and modify your behavior so that you're not put in the position to go ahead and run out and get a payday loan or a quick fix. You know what? Some banks also are doing alternative loans to help you avoid payday loans. So you can also contact your financial institution to see what they have to offer as well. Now, when we're talking about looking at our spending though, we have to be truthful with ourselves and see what it is that we are actually doing in the course of a week, of a month? What are those spending leaks that we've created within our budget? And a lot of times it's not easy to do because, again, we have to be honest with ourselves. Do we really see how many times we're going out, let's say going out in the course of a week, or grabbing a quick bite for lunch and we end up spending $10 or more even? Look at how many times that you are going out even for entertainment. What are some alternatives for that? So we'll talk about that in a sec. But right now, it looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm maxed out on all my credit cards and the interest rates are really high. Would you recommend applying for a loan to pay them off?
Oh, so with that being said, you need to look at what your options are. So if you know that your interest rates are really high, should you replace that with another loan? It really depends on what your goals are, because let me tell you, if you get a loan to pay off your debt, you need to look at how much your payments will be each month, what the terms will be, and what the interest rate is. Now, the problem is that a lot of times we jump into those loans thinking that it's a good idea, and we don't realize how much more interest that we're actually paying out. So in the long run, is it actually reducing everything for you? Is it giving you a smaller payment? Or is it increasing the amount that you have to put out each and every single month? Also, you want to look at the interest rate of the loan versus the interest rates of your credit cards. And you can also contact the credit card companies to see what they think or what they have to offer as far as do they have, if they can reduce your interest, or do you have a reduced interest rate. So it is about you and looking at your lifestyle and which option you feel would be best for you. A lot of times we look at those loans, or we see those advertisements for loans that are out there too, and you may or may not qualify for them. And sometimes they may say, we have interest rates starting as low as whatever the interest rate is, and you think it's okay, it's a good interest rate, but then you call them and they tell you the interest rate that they're going to give you is 3 or 4 times higher than what they even advertised as possible for you. So again, it's about your situation. Keep in mind that the best way for you to get the best terms is make sure you're paying your credit on time. Make sure you're paying your credit cards on time. You've paid your debt on time. Make sure that you are staying under your credit limits as well. Make sure that you've got some positive history there. You've got long-term relationships established, because that will give you the best scores, and you won't even have to worry about that because those offers will come to you, and if it's for you, you'll be able to look at it. Another thing that you can do is contact a counselor and ask just for advice on dealing with the credit card companies. What is out there? What can they help offer you? So you also want to think about any loans that they're offering you. Do you need to secure it with collateral? That's a huge risk. So you do want to pay attention to that, and know that, let's say if you have a car that's already paid for and you put that down as collateral for a loan so that you can pay off your debt's unsecured. There's things that could go wrong, but there's ways around it. But do you want to risk your car in that example by putting your car up for collateral in case something goes wrong? So it's all about our financial decisions, what our goals are, what we think would work best, and you want to sit down and think about each and every decision that you make as well. You don't want to rush into it. And sometimes we think we see a deal, or we think it's a great deal, and we jump on it, but it turns out to be the complete opposite. A lot of times when they say if it seems too good to be true, it usually probably is. So you do want to do your research. Anything that you decide to go with, do your research with Better Business Bureau. Look them up, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Make sure that there are no complaints. And if you see complaints, read through them, see what actually happened, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Do your research. So I want you to take precaution there. When you're thinking about it, there's so much more that goes into this. So just make sure you make a good decision for yourself. So we were talking about how do we get out of debt, recovering from the holidays, making sure that our lives are as stress-free as possible when it comes to finances, because you do want to be financially fit. So we talked about just paying attention to your spending habits and seeing what you can change within your spending habits, keeping track of what you're doing, and paying attention. If you go out for lunch, start brown bagging it. That's a great way for you to save money. Look at, instead of you going out, are there games on TV that you can watch? Are there movies at home that you can watch instead of going out? In some ways, you can even look at paid subscription services to cut down on some of on cable or your internet bills. So there's other things that you can do as well. a lot of times people think that they need to dig out of debt and they go at it alone and they don't get help. But there are resources out there to help you with that and help you walk through that. Digging out of debt is not easy, and we don't want you to do it alone. So do your research, contact a counselor, get some help, get some advice. That's the best thing that you can do. You want to really, really, really pay attention to what you're getting yourself into, and a lot of people don't do that. So that's why these resources are out there for you to call in, get the help that you need, and see about a realistic action plan that will allow you to get out of debt or to allow you to free up your finances. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, my identity was used to obtain credit cards in my name. Do you have any advice on what I should do?
Okay, can you repeat the question?
My identity was used falsely to get credit cards in my name. I'm not sure what I should do.
Okay. So many people struggle with that. So that is something, honestly, you have to be diligent about and work towards clearing your name. First thing that you want to do if you know your identity was used fraudulently, you do want to contact the credit bureaus and let them know. Now, if you contact one credit bureau, they'll contact the other two. So if you contact, remember, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, you do want to reach out to them and let them know what's going on. After you do that, your second step would be to file a police report. And it just depends on in your area how you do it. Some police stations will allow you to do it online. Sometimes you can do it online. Sometimes you do need to go in and make an official report. Whichever way, make sure you get it done. After you get that report, you do need to send that report to the credit bureaus so that they can update your credit report. Now, the first time you call, they put a temporary freeze on your report, on your record, so that nothing else can happen on it, so that they are aware that you're going through something right now. But to make it legit, you do need to follow up with that police report. So once they get that police report, then they can make that notice on your credit report, stamp it as such that you're going through identity theft. The good thing about that freeze that they're doing right then, it's going to stop anyone from trying to get further credit in your name. The credit bureau, they have access to your creditors. The creditors will also see that you're going through something. And if someone tries to open up credit in your name, they won't be able to because that block is on there because you've taken the steps and actually reported it. So you do need to work on getting that information, getting that updated on your credit report. The temporary freeze on your report only lasts for a couple of weeks. So you want to make sure that you get that credit report in there because that that police report will allow that freeze to stay on your report for up to 7 years. And if you are looking to get credit during that time, of course, you contact the credit bureaus, let them know, they'll take that off temporarily, and then it'll go back on after so many, I think they give you like 72 hours. So that's something that'll help you rebuild. If they have opened up credit card accounts or other loan accounts, and we've seen even cases where people have their identities been stolen and they've even opened up mortgages. You need to let people know. Pull your credit bureau report after that to see if there's anything on there that looks suspicious and that is not yours. That way, you will not be held responsible for that debt. Now, you may have to correspond back and forth with the creditor, provide them information, let them know that it wasn't you. Sometimes, you might even know who it is, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky because sometimes we have instances where people we know actually still are on our identities, and then you're left in a case of I don't know if what to do with this because in order for me to get this cleared up, I do need to file a police report. But this person is a relative or this person is someone I know, and you don't want to get them in trouble because then, yes, that creditor will go after them for that debt. They'll absolve you of it and then move on to the person that actually did take out that debt, which you'll have to find out more with the creditor on the direction that they would take. And then if you decide, well, I don't want to get this person in trouble, know that you will be held liable for that debt. So you have to think, do I want to pay it or do I want to let the person that's responsible for it actually go through it? So it gets tough right there. It's tricky, and you can call and get some advice, get some help from the counselors, and they can help you with that, walk you through the directions of clearing your identity, and provide you with some information on identity theft too. be sure that you keep your information as safe as possible, especially in this age where people can just take pictures and snaps and send information back and forth. You do want to make sure that you have done your due diligence, that you're keeping everything secure and locked. You're not laying things around, especially over the holidays. So be mindful of that. Now, getting back to clearing up our debt and working through that. One thing that I do want to mention is that if you are in debt and you're looking to get your way out, you're trying to recover from the holidays, perfect thing for you to do. First thing, you do need to create a budget or a spending plan and see how much you can actually put towards your debt. Now, I do want to bring up the tool Personal Finance Made Easy. This is a great tool that Family Credit offers. You can go online to the website and you can pull it off there if you are interested in this. You can call a counselor and get them to send you a copy of the Personal Finance Made Easy. And the great thing about this is that you will actually have a guide on not just dealing with your finances, but also how to set up a budget. Great resources, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, we've got a caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm currently struggling with my utilities. Where can I get assistance for them?
I'm glad you bring that up because there's a lot of people that need help with utilities, and right now is the time to actually start looking for that too. With the holidays, there are lots of giving programs that are out there and available. First thing though, you're struggling with your utilities, call the utility company first to see what they have to offer. There's a lot of different sharing programs that are out there. There are some charity assistance that they can offer as well. So you do want to contact them and see what's available. Also, think about this. If you're struggling with your utilities, is there a way for you to set up a payment plan to help get you out of that hole? Now, there are some utility companies where what they will do is they'll take your bill, whatever your past due, whatever you're struggling with, and they may say, well, how long do you think you need to be able to pay this off? You may say, I need, 6 months. And they'll take that balance, divide it by 6, and then tack that onto your regular bill. And they'll help you get that cleared up. Now, after you get that paid off, though, you will want to see about going on to a budget plan that will allow you to pay a set amount each and every single month, and that helps you regulate your budget. Remember, we talked about behavior modification? That way you know how much you're paying out each and every single month, and they probably evaluate that once or twice a year to make sure that you're on track with what you're actually using, but it works wonders for helping you know and develop consistency with what you're actually doing and setting up your budget. So we were just talking about creating a budget plan, and that tip goes a long ways. Contact your utility company, see what help is out there. Then there are resources that are available in the community that come out from time to time. You can check with LIHEAP and see when their assistance opens up, if they have anything available. Each county or township that's around, that's through, they offer utility assistance, and you can see what you qualify for and if they can help you as well. So those are some other things that you can do. So another thing, when you're digging out of debt, we'll talk about a couple other things before our time runs out. But a lot of times people will try to pay off everything at one time, or they're going to take multiple calls and try and start paying off debt. But I want you to focus. You need to focus on one account at a time to try and get that to the point where it's manageable. So don't try and do too much at one time. Focus on one. Bring in your budget to just that one account. Work on that. When that's paid off, you can take that money and you can put it on something else. Another thing that people do is after that debt's paid off, instead of them saying, they'll just say, oh, now I don't have to pay anything. I've got all this debt gone. I've got all this extra money. No, still use that money and start taking that money and putting it into your retirement plan or into an emergency savings account. So those are some things that you want to think about, because guess what? You were taking this money anyway. You weren't really using it on your utilities or your daily living expenses. This is money that you set just for dealing with this debt. So if you can keep whatever it was, be it $100, be it $50, even $20 extra that you're spending on your debt, and you can put that in an account and begin to save that, especially a retirement account where you can make more interest on it, whatever you can do, and just begin to save for emergencies or have your retirement plan set up to have some wealth built. And that's the key to wealth building. Make sure you take that money and use it wisely. Don't just say, oh, now I can go shopping again. I pay down all my debt. So keep that in mind and use your money wisely. Another thing that you can do is make sure when you're trying to get out of debt, pay attention to your credit bureau report. You want to make sure you're getting those payments and that you are getting credit for them, first of all, and that you're monitoring your score while you're doing it. Because as you're paying them down, you'll see your credit should be improving as well. Keep your accounts open. Do not close them. All right, so those are some helpful tips with digging yourself out of debt, trying to de-stress during the holidays. We'll talk about some more de-stressing methods next week. So if you've got some other questions, feel free to reach out. Contact a counselor, Family Credit, 800-994-3328, because guess what? This holiday season can be stressful, and I don't want you to stress yourself out. So we will talk to you next week. Take care.